Alright guys, so today I'm going to be showing you guys how to use retro achievements on Dolphin with GameCube games and also the PS2 emulator PCSX2. It's a pretty easy process, it's pretty straightforward. I'll be going over just a couple of little tips and tricks while using retro achievements. Some people are really familiar with it, not a lot of people are familiar with it because it just got dropped to Dolphin. We've been waiting for GameCube to have retro achievements for a very long time. So if you don't know what retro achievements are, it's this website. You can just Google search it, pulls it right up. They support a lot of different systems. They support a lot of different systems with a lot of different games. Um, Basically, you hop onto a game, let's say Battalion Wars, and they'll have all these achievements you can get for old school video games, just like how newer gen consoles have been having achievement supports. But achievements have only been like a PS3 and Xbox 360. That's kind of when it started, and it's been going from there. But old school systems, they missed it out for people to beat those games and show them off. So basically, the biggest thing about the Dolphin emulator, if you go to their website, go to the download section, you'll get to this page right here. Now, everyone always recommends get this guy right up here. You do not need that guy. That does not have the support for retro achievements. You'll be going down here to development versions and just get whatever the latest development version is. Once you download this guy, obviously make sure you have this too. If you don't, get it installed, put it wherever you want, and then once you load it up, it'll have the version titled right up here. So from here on Dolphin, it's kind of hidden in the settings, but you'll go to Tools and Achievements. If you do not see this section right here, make sure you have the latest development build, okay? So you go to Achievements, and you'll get this little pop-up right here. Enable retro achievements integration. So if you don't have a profile, Dolphin doesn't create the profile for you. They just support the integration of it. It is a whole separate thing. It's its own website. Dolphin and retro achievements, two different things. So you got to sync them up to each other. So going back to retro achievements, you want to go ahead and get a profile created, get a username, get a password, all that fun jazz. Once you have it created, get a little profile picture, just something simple and easy to eat, something nice to at least recognize, and go ahead and punch it in here. Go ahead and punch in the password that you created for retro achievements, and you should be good to go. And as you can see my little profile picture, and you can see that the points line up too. So I am successfully logged in. Now, there is this right here. This is hardcore mode. Hardcore mode disables a lot of features that are pretty happy with emulators. You can't use like fast forward certain things. If you hover over this, it'll tell you the following features will be disabled. So loading states, you can save a state, you just cannot load it. Emulator speeds below 100%, so you can't slow the game down. Frame advance, turbo is allowed apparently. Cheats is not allowed. Memory patches, file patches are allowed under certain circumstances. I'll show you guys a example of that here shortly. Now you might be asking yourself, hey, I'm playing an emulator. Why shouldn't I be able to use save states? That's the whole point, right? Well, it is a nice thing to have, but with retro achievements, hardcore points, they give you, playing it in the hardcore mode gives you more points. So if you don't use those features that make it easier to play the game, you get more points, more bragging rights, right? So for example, here on Pokemon Snap, I turned off hardcore mode and used save states for one achievement. So you can see that achievement is, let's see, it's the one where you have to take a picture of Mew. Shouldn't be this hard for me to find it. This one right here. So you have to take a picture of Mew, which is worth 10,000 points. You have to line up the shot, reload the thing. I honestly, I got frustrated with it. I'm like, I don't care. I just want to complete it. So you get this yellow banner when you complete it in hardcore mode, but you don't get that banner when you complete it in softcore mode because I was using a save state to get that specific achievement. So I got all the achievements, but I have this. So it's completed, but not mastered. These two Spyro games that I played them on hardcore mode. You get this little yellow thing. So more bragging rights on beating that game without the easy stuff. And you also get this right here too. So now that's kind of a basic overview of like the two different achievements and how they get affected. Once you have this all loaded up, you don't ever want to play with any of these. Just mess with hardcore mode if that's your style. Now, to ensure that you have it successfully functional, a small little tip that nobody really mentions is making sure that you have the correct file name by the supported retro achievements thing. So if you go to games, GameCube, most players, this kind of puts them all at the top here. So Twilight Princess, let's go ahead and check this out here. Supported game files right here. You go ahead and open that guy up, and you can see right here, Twilight Princess USA only. So, and it says GameCube, so that doesn't mean Wii, that doesn't mean the Wii U, that doesn't mean any other version other than strictly the GameCube USA version. Now, I got the GameCube USA version, so shouldn't have any issues. However, if this said Europe or that said Europe and they're mismatching, it won't work and it won't trigger. When you have the correct files loaded up and you're logged in successfully, you will see this pop up here. I already played a little bit of it, so I got some achievements already unlocked. Hardcore mode is on and leaderboard submissions are on. And you see the little icon up here. That icon matches the icon that they're using for the supported achievements. That means I'm good to go. I'm all successfully set up to go ahead and start earning retro achievements on Dolphin. And it's basically as simple as that. If you guys have any more questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. Other than that, it's mostly clean cut and straightforward. I noticed a lot of people never brought it up that there are differences with USA and Europe. The ROM files. I was like, why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? And it's because I had the Europe version, not the USA version. Now another thing is if you're playing a game, these aren't like regular achievements, retro achievements. Some of them have like a pretty high learning curve. So just to show you here with Zelda games, they do have like a pretty high difficulty. So if you go down here, you can see that not a lot of people unlock these because these are, I mean, guys could press pause and read it. They're difficult. Some of these achievements are insane. Like complete this Lakebud Temple with only 3 heart containers and possessing no more than 1 bottle. That is insane. But some people like to play those games extremely difficult. And as you can see, they give you a lot more points for these more difficult achievements. So, me personally, I'm a completionist. I like to 100% games. I get upset when I don't have a game fully completed. However, with this game, I looked at that and I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I can play the game with only 3 hearts. That sounds like really frustrating. That doesn't sound like an enjoyable experience to me. So with that being said, I'm just going to get as many achievements as I can while enjoying the game and not trying to play it under extreme circumstances. So keep that in mind before you get this excited. You put like 50 hours into a game, then you're like, oh, what am I missing? What am I missing? And you're like, oh, I missed it. So this right here, you can toggle show only missables. So you can check what you can accidentally skip over or accidentally, skip a beat on. So these things with 3 heart containers and bottles. So if I picked up the 4th heart, I'd be locked out half of these achievements for those more difficult things. So just keep that in mind when you're checking out achievements. So another really good example of a little bit of a better supported game is Super Mario Sunshine. If I go here, check out the supported game files, they have a lot more options here. They have Europe, they have Japan, they have Korea, they have USA. Quality of life enhancements, the 30 FPS patches. You can even download the patch files. Um, that gets a little bit more in depth with how to use these patch files, but this game is a good example of, hey, you can pretty much play like any version of it, USA or Europe, Japan, whatever. You'll be happy with this. But in instances with Twilight Princess, if you got your heart set on playing the Japanese version or the Europe version, then you just gotta suck it up and play it with the USA version. There's solid reasons as to why they do that. A really good example on that was Conker's Bad Fur Day. I was researching. I was like, well, why is that game like? Why isn't the uncensored version supported? Because I know with that game, it's an M-rated game. A lot of the stuff is censored. There's an uncensored version out there. I was trying to use that at first. I'm like, why isn't this working? And then I tried a USA version. I'm like, what the heck? This isn't working. Um, Now with this right here, neither of those are supported, and oddly enough, it's the Europe version. So just always double check that. It's always kind of hit or miss, and there's a solid reasoning behind that because when they create the achievements, with Conkers, I spent like a good hour just kind of playing around on this website, just checking it out, playing around. I went to the forum and people were like, "Hey, why isn't this supported? Why isn't this supported?" And they were just like, the way the USA version works, the code to create achievements, it searches codes, lines of code in the game to pick things up, to check things out, and for some reason the USA version just it was having problems tracking achievements. So, but the Europe version was a lot easier for them to use. It's a lot more supported, and there's no differences between the USA and Europe. So they just went with that. Not a big deal. It sucks that the uncensored version doesn't work, but hey, just always double check that out because ROM hacks are super important. Now, another thing is hacks. Some Pokemon hacks are supported. I think Recharged. Jesus, I can't spell. Recharged Yellow was a popular one. This is basically a remake of Yellow using Emerald's engine. You have the patch. It tells you how to use it. USA, Europe, plus the Recharged Yellow 1.4 patch. So some ROM hacks are supported, which I think is really amazing. You got a bunch of different achievements you can get for those games. It's pretty cool. Going back just one more step. Conker's Bad Fur Day. So some games have subsets. These are separate achievement sets that you can get. These are usually for, in my personal opinion, like really hardcore players. This is not something I think would be for like your average day player. So beat the game pretty much without dying, and you can see, you can actually see that no one's actually unlocked any of these on this subset. It's just unnecessarily difficult for no reason. Now let's see here. Another good example is Zelda Majora's Mask. Let me see if I can try to hunt it down, just so you guys can kind of get an idea of like how this stuff functions. So you got Majora's Mask, and then you have the fourth day. The fourth day, it requires a bunch of glitching. As you can see, not a lot of people use it, but for people who are extremely hardcore players, props out to you. There's subsets out there for you guys for this insane, typically on average non-achievable things through average means, but they got this subset glitch showcase. So usually that means you got to do a bunch of glitches to get it, bunch of crazy stuff, multiplayer. So you got to play multiplayer to get those things. It's pretty fun. There's all sorts of different fun and little achievements you guys can get. It keeps track of everything you guys play. Lots of different emulators are supported. So going back one more step and showing you guys on the PS2, it's almost the same thing. It's the same thing on Duck Station. It's the same thing on RetroArch. Yeah, in PS2 you go to settings, achievements, enable achievements. I like to use hardcore mode. Most of the time, there'll be a few games like I think Crash Bandicoot 1. I'll admit, saving in that game just isn't in my books. Make fun of me all you want, but like I play a lot of this stuff like on my lunch break when I can, and I don't have time to replay like half of the levels just to get to like a save point. So a game like that, I'm gonna play with softcore achievements just because like I just don't have the time for it usually when I play. So yeah, once you log in, you can double check by hitting your profile. Yep, there's me. Shows you 8 minutes ago I just played Twilight Princess. So now let's see, going commando. I know that for a fact that one works. So let's go PlayStation 2. Probably find it a little bit better by searching it up. So going commando for the PlayStation 2. Support game files says USA. I got USA, so should be all good. So double checked it. You get a little pop. Tells you playing on hardcore mode. Each emulator displays things a little bit differently, but as long as you see that pop up, then you're golden. Once you see it, you're good. I don't have RetroArch on my unit currently, but you just got to go in the settings, achievements, log into your Retro Achievements profile, save configuration, and you're good. But basically that's a little bit of an overview on it. I know GameCube, a lot of people are excited about it, but they're typically using this version and they're like, hey, where the hell's Retro Achievements? I don't see it. It's not here. It's because you gotta wipe this guy, use development versions. So hopefully this helps some experienced people. Hopefully this helps people who are just getting into it, or maybe you're like, hey, I don't know what's softcore or hardcore. This is just kind of like a general overview as well as Dolphin setup guide for you guys. If you guys have any questions, I'm actively learning about this stuff. Tell me if I did something wrong. Ask me if you guys don't know something. I'll do my best to help you guys out. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I hope you found it useful. Thank you.